Welcome back to the Manto Collective YouTube channel. We review a little bit of kit and cameras on this channel, and when we do that, we really like to make sure that we're not just getting it in a box and reviewing it straight away, because that's not really a true review. The piece of kit that we're talking about today is this guy here, which is the Canon C80. So here at Manto, there's 3 of us on the production team. So there's me, there's Laura and Josh. And we've each developed our own thoughts after using this camera for an intensive year, and it's been on pretty much every shoot that we've done this year. Let's start off with the good things. Best thing about this camera's got to be the portability. I think it strikes that perfect balance between being small, compact, but not too much to the point that you're basically missing out on too many features. It's light enough that you can carry as like a daily rig, but you kind of get that unbelievable picture and everything you'd expect from a top line of Canon cinema line. I personally feel like it takes all the best parts of our camera lineup and just combines it into this one sort of powerhouse. And the fact that it fits in your backpack is it's pretty handy as well.
What I love most about the C80 comes down to its usability, especially on docu-style shoots. So whether you're doing work for a charity or for a conventional documentary, it's just comfortable to shoot with on those kind of run and gun style shoots. Canon got the button layout absolutely spot on. There aren't so many that you feel overwhelmed compared to like the C300, but there's just enough to access all your critical settings quickly. And they're fully customizable as well, which saves so much time when you're moving around fast. And it feels like so good in your hand to hold, and like all the buttons are in the right places for your grip as well. So the inbuilt image stabilization paired with how light it is makes handheld work effortless. But the beauty is that when you do need to build it up for a bigger documentary style setup, you can rig it straight up like a C300 basically. So full audio control, bigger lenses, cages without losing that portability.
Let's talk about the sensor feature that actually changed how we shoot low light events, triple base ISO. For years, taking a top tier cinema camera into dark venues meant either lugging a massive rig around or accepting noisy blacks when shooting log. Triple base ISO finally fixes that. A quick reminder on what the base ISO are on this camera. When shooting log or in RAW, they're 800, 3200 and 12800. Basically, it can see in the dark. Dual base ISO is revolutionary, and the fact that this is triple base just pushes things that one step further. So we relied heavily on this when we were filming around various locations across Europe for a product launch campaign. We found the camera so easy to pack down. We'd literally throw it into a backpack, fully built up, and then we were free to walk around the canals of Copenhagen, the city centre of Milan all day. Moving between harsh outdoor light and dim indoor locations meant we didn't have to carry a ton of lighting kit just to dial in control. The ISO functionality handled it seamlessly. Typically, if we were doing a shoot where we had an A cam that's a cine style camera, but a B cam that was a gimbal mounted camera, this has become something that's a little bit of a hybrid. You know, we can actually get this rigged up on our fairly standard Ronin DS2, SC2, S2, RS2, typically using it with a kind of ring cage style rigging system. Although it takes a little bit more stabilization, ultimately it does the job perfectly. And to have the quality of sensor in this that we've got compared to what we would use typically, which would be a Canon R5, this is a massive step up for us.
We've used this camera heavily for a series of campaigns for one of our regular clients, and each of those campaigns involves some of the highest quality, most premium interview setups that we can produce really. But at the same time, an hour later after that interview, we might be running around like a major city in the UK, establishing city B-roll. And this camera, the C80, it kind of sits perfectly in both of those roles. It doesn't really skip a beat, running an interview for 2 hours straight and then either flying on a gimbal or handheld shots around the city. I realise I'm getting in danger of this beginning to start to sound like a love letter to the C80, but when you find a piece of equipment that you know that you can fully rely on with 100% confidence, it allows you just to think less about technicalities of like filmmaking, like is the battery going to die out? Can I trust the autofocus? Is it going to overheat? These aren't issues that we have with this camera, and what that does is it allows you to be really present in the room or in the production that you're making. If you've ever tried to conduct an interview when you're stressing about like the camera like about to overheat, then you realize that's a pretty hard job to do. So kind of takes all that technical stress away. You know that you can rely on it 100%, and you can all you have got to think about is telling the story that you're trying to tell. There's no perfect camera, so we've got to talk about some of the things that aren't perfect about this camera.
My only real wish is that it can technically take stills, but it would be nice, I know it's a pinch, but to lean on this a little bit more and be more of a hybrid camera. It's pretty clunky workaround to try and access the stills function, and it only takes JPEG, so it feels more like a screen grab from a video rather than an actual photograph.
Stripped down, it's essentially a fat-ass DSLR, and it brings a lot of those classic DSLR video headaches with it. The centre of gravity feels a little bit off when you're shooting with a top handle, and the base plate tighteners are constantly getting caught on the tripod mount when you're putting the camera onto the head. If you run larger batteries, they stick out awkwardly out the back as well, so it's a little bit annoying on some of those fast-paced sets.
One thing that Sony seem to have got right is like dust caps and like port caps. For whatever reason, every Canon camera that we have seems to lose these. They come out, they get lost at the bottom of the bag, and then who knows where they are. So weather sealing has taken a hit on that side, but who knows where they go after these things. They're like lens caps. I know a lot of people that use the C70 had a lot of complaints about the screen, and I think they've addressed a lot of them. Like, it does now click into place and the hinge is stronger than that camera. However, after a year of heavy use, I can definitely see it starting to lean that way a little bit, but yeah, we're having to be extra careful with that. Also, it could be a little bit bigger. I feel like for the size of the camera, it's actually a pretty small screen. At least it's nice and bright though.
Also, I kind of wish it used CF Express cards so we didn't have to carry different media compared to our other bodies, because in our R5 and C300, that's what we used to. But I get why Canon went with the SD route just to keep the body light.
Another thing that we found a little bit frustrating is if you're in the middle of the shoot and you want to play back some of the shots you've already got, even if you're filming with a look in place on top of your footage, when you go onto your media playback, it just plays it back in the log profile without the correction lot on there. So yeah, not ideal.
We actually used it like on a short film shoot a few weeks ago, and it was sort of shot in a documentary style, and it was great for that. Like, the quality was, on par with what we'd get like on our C300, if anything better. The only downside was that we realized on the shoot that if you want to shoot in like the higher reses, and we wanted to go in raw LT, which looks great by the way, and it's great to have a raw setting that doesn't like eat up your footage. The only thing with using that is it turns off the inbuilt stabilization, which was kind of key because we were doing a lot of run and gun handheld stuff and we needed that dialed in. But apart from that, like the image that you get out of the camera is amazing considering the size of the body. So yeah, if you're looking for a new camera that is for either a self-shooter or documentary, yeah, I think this is an amazing one to go for.
This is editor Harvey here, and just to touch on something that we've got to talk about in this video, which is just how good the menus are on this camera. If you've used any of the Canon cinema cameras before, then this will feel very familiar. A lot of the work that we do is working with the C80 alongside the C300 Mark III, so the menus all feel very similar, and you can find what you need really intuitively. We all seem to much prefer that to the sort of photography focused menus that you'd find in the R5. Also worth mentioning how good the audio inputs are on this camera. You do use a micro XLR cable to standard XLR cable conversion, but we haven't noticed any issues with this and it hasn't affected production at all. You've got two inputs, which can create 4 channels of audio. You can also use sort of a standard 3.5mm input audio jack and headphones for monitoring as well, which gives us pretty much everything that we need for most shoots. Something worth bearing in mind when we're talking about gear, specifically cameras, is that the perfect camera doesn't exist. It's all about finding the right tool for you that solves the most problems for you in what you're trying to achieve with your work. So that might mean one of the cameras from Sony or Nikon, or Lumix or Fujifilm. It just happens to be that the C80 is the camera that solves the most problems for us right now. If you are looking at this camera or you use it already, then do drop a comment below, let us know how you're getting on with it. I feel like there aren't many of us out there using Canon for cinema work, so yeah, it'd be great to have a bit of a conversation down below. So yeah, please do leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.